it's the people that I've met and those relationships that you're touching on. Like the fact that I get to come back and be with Andrew McCann for 4 days and watch the boys play. You know,
what a fucking legend.
What a legend.
Like
What a
that's so
fucking
cool to me.
For my brothers, for my family, for my mama, for my friends, for my bros. I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell.
Matt Eller, it's a pleasure to have you. Obviously we go way back, but we wanted to talk something specific today. You work for the family business. Kind of give us a little, 180-foot view of like what you do, what your family business does, and then like your role inside of it.
Yeah. So first off, thanks boys for having me on.
Anytime.
You guys are doing some good things, and so it's fun to watch your guys' content and whatnot. So it's cool to be a part of it now.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Us, for real.
So yeah, family business. So just a quick rundown. It was we're a janitorial commercial cleaning business founded by my grandpa in the 1980s. Mom and pop shop, and now my dad runs it. He's the president. Took it to really where it is now. We're close to $6 million in revenue now. Right. So it's come a long way.
I mean, it's been around for a minute, right?
How many employees?
So we've got roughly 150 now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a real fucking business.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's
a lot of people.
It's about 70% full timers, 30% part timers.
Awesome.
So,
and what's your role inside of the family business? Because we kind of talked about it before, but
So I mean, I grew up in the business, cleaning and whatnot. In the summers, you come home playing junior hockey or cleaning. Everybody cleaned at one point.
Yeah,
so.
summer job, right?
But now I'm actually sitting in the finance seat now. I came back onto the family business after graduating from Adrian as kind of an EA for Dad because he was getting swamped and needed some help. And then we lost our finance person, and I was always kind of grooming myself to get into that role at some point. And so it happened a little quicker than I thought. So it was kind of sink or swim at that point. But so everything finance kind of runs through me now, which is good because I like numbers. So
that's great. What have you learned so far from being on the job? Because I think a lot of what me and Josh were in where we work, it is a lot of sink or swim.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the moment it can be super like stressful, but I think in 90 days later you're like, wow.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in a completely different position because it forces you to adapt. So kind of talk about what you've learned so far.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy how it's like, you're in that moment and you kind of feel like you're up to your eyeballs all the time. And like, you don't see how much you're actually growing, right? Until, like you said, like 90 days later, you're like, holy cow, like look at how much I've learned, right?
Yeah.
And so, there was a period where I jumped into that because I had to by necessity. And it was like, holy cow, this is stressful, and like, do I really want to do this? And you get to a point where maybe you're like, do I even want to be in the family business? Because there's that draw of like keeping the legacy there. It's just a lot of pressure, right? But
I was gonna get into that. How hard do you find it to work with your family? Because I know, like, obviously, like Zach and I work together, and it's very seamless. But like, if I were to work with one of my other brothers, it probably wouldn't be as seamless. So I'm curious to think, or our dad. So it's like it's seamless. Like, so how hard is it to navigate that, or do you find that it's almost easier to navigate that?
No, I mean it's difficult at times, but the good thing about it is my older brother's in the business too. He does sales, and we've always been really close. Since day one we were tight. We did everything together. So we work together. We're kind of each other's yin and yang too.
Right.
He's,
Danny's a great
he's
guy.
in sales, and I would never be in sales. And he would never be in finance, right? So, and we both have a good relationship with our dad. Always have, and so that makes it seamless at times.
Right.
But my dad also does a really good job of like, compartmentalizing. This is family, and then this is business, and you gotta tread those waters, right?
Yeah, it's cool that you said that like you and Danny are kind of yin and yang. Because I think that's kind of like how we work.
Our dad labeled that. Dude, he said that like randomly, bro. I was like sitting there. He was watching a game, and I was just sitting there talking to him. And he was like, "You guys are like yin and yang."
Yeah.
And I was like,
"That's funny."
And honestly, like everybody kind of growing up would always talk about like yin and yang, but I didn't really know what the fuck it was.
Right.
Right. Until he said that, I'm like, what is this motherfucker talking about? Like, I went and looked it up, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, you balance each other, right?
It's perfect because like I tell everybody like Joshua runs really hot.
Yeah.
And, like ever since I've kind of removed myself from sports, I run super cold. Like I'm very much like I listen.
Yeah.
I listen, and then like when I say something, I'm
Yeah.
I'm probably right because I'm sitting here listening, I'm watching,
Right.
and you know, I think that's one thing where we complement, where Joshua is very much like, let's push the needle. And I can be very reserved. And that's why he's forced me to grow and like kind of get out of my shell.
Right.
And I think that there's things that, you know, I've helped Joshua kind of like, you know, think about. So I think finding a partnership, and especially with it being family, like I've always thought, like everybody's like, don't get into business with your family. Yeah. And I've never really liked that, because family brings a different aspect. Yes, if you have bad people that are family in a business, it's going to be bad. But if you're actually good people and you're working together and you're working towards a common goal, and you actually respect each other and you love each other at the end of the day, no matter what happens, like it's the best business to be in, because you can sit there and be like, motherfucker, like, you said you're going to do this, you're not doing this. You can't do that to a normal
the
employee.
Accountability levels are totally different things.
It's just
like,
it's
way
different.
way
it's
different.
Right.
Way
it's
different,
right? And I think that allows a business like you're in to succeed, because you can, like, you know, the people at the top. It's really like blood.
Yeah, it is, and it requires you to put a little, like, not that you wouldn't put all that effort in any job, right? But you have this feeling of like, well, this is my family's business, and
it's easier to buy in.
Our legacy, and I want to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't fail, right?
And so, just to piggy off that, so like your grandpa started in the 80s, your dad kind of, you know, your grandpa, it probably was probably super small at the time.
Oh yeah.
And then your dad took it over. He kind of grew it to what it is today. Now, what is it for like you and Danny? Like, what do you guys want to take it to? Like, you want to take it 6 million to like 50? Yeah. Is it like, and I don't want to put a monetary value on it, but
well,
like,
it's funny.
is it like to expand? Or?
It's funny you say that. I mean, we run on an entrepreneurial system called EOS, where you do have to like set those goals, those future goals, those 10-year out goals, and you do put a number on it, right? So, you know, I'll just be upfront with you guys. Like, I think our number is 17.5 in 10 years, right? So to go from 6 to 17.5.
That's
our goal, and it may change, you know, in a couple years if things look different. It may be more, maybe less. But,
you could. And that's, I like that, because it's like you have to chase something.
Yeah.
And whether it's like monetary is sometimes tough, obviously, because it's like you might go lateral a little bit to then go way up. Exactly. So it's like you don't really know. Are you guys looking to like? Obviously, it's in Southeast Michigan right now. Are you guys looking to expand to other, like, would you guys expand to other states more? I mean, or is that not really the goal?
I'd always kind of pose that question to my dad, you know, growing up, like, what's your plan with this? Like, are you going to try and franchise it? Like, what? And, you know, he's very ambitious. Right. But, you know, there are limitations, I guess. And he doesn't want to lose that family business feeling, right?
Yeah.
Get too big,
it's 100%. And I think we talk about it all the time. It's like, sometimes when you expand, you like lose the sauce. Yeah, exactly. Right? And it's hard to keep that. You know,
we're seeing that in our industry, where we're getting a lot of contracts from businesses that we're working with those large corporations, and they're just not happy with what they're getting, right?
For sure.
So
there's definitely a market for the small business. Yeah. And I think in this world where it's all big business, and big business is buying all the small mom and pops, and they're driving them out of the market, I think there's going to be some type of transition 5-10 years where people are going to start to notice like this company has all the business, but this company only has some. Like let's try them out, right? And just see, because, you know, maybe it might be cheaper, it might even be a little bit more expensive. But I've always thought about that, and I think it's more so once I've got into business, like I'm way more likely to support a small business, or a small entrepreneur, like. Because it's where I'm at.
It matters.
I would want somebody to give me the benefit of the doubt. Now, if I give you my business and you fuck it up, like, you're not getting it back.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But that's with anything, I think, right?
For sure. But if you do it and you do it right, you have a customer for life.
And a relationship, right?
Exactly.
Like, you forge that relationship.
I was going to say, I think that's where you get like the mom and pop. Like, that is where like the smaller business does better than so much corporation, because corporation is not as much relationship as a mom and pop, quote unquote, shop, because their relationships are everything. Whereas corporation, like, we deal with it a lot. Like, there's relationships just in a different way. Yeah. It's just a different way.
We run on a motto of ours is quality partnering matters. And it's like a two-way thing for us. Where like, you know, if it's not a good partnership, even though you're continuing to pay us, but maybe it's just not working out, we'll cut you loose.
Exactly.
Because we're, you know, our time and energy can be put into something else. And that's happened over the last few years, where we've had large contracts, but it's just such a headache, and they just don't respect us as a business.
Yeah. And that's why Joshua kind of hit it right on the head with, I hate to put a monetary value on it, because sometimes losing that contract, which drives top line revenue. Maybe, you know, bigger salaries, bigger bonuses, you can get better equipment, you can hire more people, like whatever it is. But sometimes that puts extra pressure on your business and can make it worse. And you know, if something's taking too much attention here, well, what about the 20 other things that need attention that aren't getting attention?
That's kind of that lateral step that you're talking about, right? So
it's like anything. It's like we always compare things to sports and stuff. It's like when you got a bad egg, it doesn't matter if how good they are. If they're fucking up the culture of what's going on, it's not worth it.
It's never gonna get done.
So kind of get into, obviously you and Joshua went to school together at Adrian Colleges.
College.
Jeez.
College.
Fuck that up. We'll definitely got to keep that in. So you guys, defensive pairing at Adrian College.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about your experience there. Obviously, you won the national championship last year, but kind of go from like your freshman year to winning that national title. Kind of give us a overview of that.
So, I mean, I had always known who Osh was, just being a Michigan boy
we were all
and
Michigan
growing
boys.
up and playing.
Yeah.
Who'd you play for growing up?
So I played for Bell Tire.
Bell Tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So always against each other.
Yeah, always against each other. And Osh was always 95
and 96.
or 96.
Yeah. I was a year.
96,
Yeah.
So he was always a year above me, right? But coming into Adrian, I knew who Osh was, and I was fortunate enough to come in and kind of make the lineup from day one. And I know that Osh battled with injuries and getting into the lineup and things of that nature. And so just kind of watching Osh go through that and knowing that I'm a freshman and I'm playing, it drives you even more kind of. And I think that helped me a lot, was knowing like there's other guys here working their asses off and I'm playing. And I got to earn it every night, right? Or he's going to take my job.
Right.
So, but then, as I progressed through college, Osh and I started playing together, and I don't know what sparked that. I mean,
it was kind of like a weird thing.
We were two of the biggest guys on the ice. Normally they split those guys, right? And and they put us together, and I think kind of like, I feel like Zachary, you and I are pretty similar in head space, because I felt like Osh was kind of sort of like my older brother, where exactly, we complement each other,
very complimentary,
right? Like he runs hot out there on the ice, but I'm on the ice, I'm like steady. Does this guy even have a heartbeat? Like,
no, it's very no, I agree. We were very, very even keeled with that. No,
and I think that fed to our success
for sure.
So it's kind of talk about what you learned through hockey, because obviously we're here in Massachusetts for hockey. So kind of talk about what you learned in the brotherhood and the culture, because I find it fascinating, because where I went to school, it didn't really have that culture. We didn't really have that winning culture, and it was always fun to see Joshua talk about it and then see how everybody comes back to support them all the time. Like, I selfishly wanted that. So, there's definitely something here.
Yeah, it's super special, and I mean it's a testament to from the top down, from the college, right? Part of it is Adrian College, small college, which always helps, right?
Right.
Keeps us that tight community, but with President Docking, the way he does things, he makes you want to come back.
Yeah,
he takes care of his programs, like they do a great job, and I think the biggest thing for me through college and playing sports in general, and I feel like maybe it's cliched, but it is like those relationships you form, and like obviously playing sports teaches you a lot of stuff: commitment, hard work, resilience. You get, when your back's against the wall, what are you gonna do? But I think for me, it's like it's the people that I've met and those relationships that you're touching on, like the fact that I get to come back and be with Andrew McCann for 4 days and watch the boys
legend.
Play.
What a fucking legend.
What a legend.
Like that's so cool to me. He's and that guy lives in Alberta, and he flies all the way out to Boston to watch.
Talk about commitment,
play,
For sure.
right? So it's like, I don't know. There's just something special about Adrian where you want to go back. You feel like
absolutely
you have to go back, and it's because the guys before you, like we were here last year. There's 10 alumni here supporting us, right? So it's, you want to be a part of that going forward for years.
So I guess kind of close it out. Sometimes we like to just leave on a high note. What is something that you're curious about that other people would not expect about you? Like, could be anything. Could be like, I like to go fishing, or it'd be like, we've had some people on here say that they think the Earth's flat. So I'm just curious, what makes you, what are you curious about that others wouldn't expect?
Well, I don't know. People close to me would probably expect it, but I'm big into like politics, I think, and that's a family thing. Yeah. My grandpa was big into politics, but studying up on stuff that doesn't really get shown out there, and things that, and it can be labeled as conspiracy theory or whatever. Just all sorts of stuff that gets thrown around.
We love conspiracies.
But I think, if you dig deep enough, so I do. No. I think that's something that not a lot of people know, is like, I spend a lot of time in that realm, right? So the political realm.
Is there one thing specifically that like really in that realm like of the quote unquote conspiracies that you're like that one just really intrigues me?
I wouldn't say there's one. I think that it's the whole conspiracy of that, like, you know, our government is there's puppet strings there.
It's for sure.
Oh no, that's real.
You know,
that's real as fuck.
That's not conspiracy. That's real. I'm
Yeah.
looking dead in the camera. That is
And
real.
Yeah, that's real.
But you know, that's the thing, and it's just like I think for me, it's I like learning about that stuff because if you're not aware of it, they pull the cover over your face, and before you know it, like the world that you thought was around you is there no longer, right? So
absolutely.
For sure.
It's kind of scary to think about.
No,
but
but I'd rather be educated on it,
right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And still be scared and like always have it in the back of your mind, because it's always better to be prepared and not need it than to be unprepared and then you're like, oh, I'm really fucked.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
But Eller, appreciate you coming
Matt
on.
Eller,
Boys,
appreciate you, bro. Appreciate
Keep doing what you guys do.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's cool, brother. Thank you, my friend.
Boys.
I mean, Cantor hasn't even had a beer yet, so we can't even interview this guy yet. We can't even interview this guy yet.
Like he's drinking water, bro. What is that?
I know.
Really hurting.
You know Cantor's fucked up when he's over there drinking some water, bro. You know he's fucked up.
That's a smart man.
It's not water.
And now I'm singing, yeah. If you gon' go, then go, don't tell me you won't. I want them diamonds on my neck to make me look like I'm cold. That ain't for you and none of these hoes, that's just for me and my bros. I gotta fight for my bros, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road, we about to get all this dough. We ain't no fuck niggas, no. I swear to God we the ghosts, this ain't the story they told. Man, if you know